Everybody sells you the pretty side of Charlotte. Almost nobody warns you about the pollen, the potholes, or the summers that make you earn every step outside. I'm Mark Weinberg, and today I'll tell you the honest version of it. I've been selling homes here for 12 years, and there are eight things you got to handle before you move. Let's get into it. You park your car clean at night, and by morning, it's wearing a coat of yellow-green dust as if somebody frosted it. Welcome to spring in Queen City. Charlotte's allergy season runs from late February all the way through November, so most of the year. And it comes in waves. So just when one type settles down, another one shows up. Spring is the famous one. That's when the tree pollen hits and you can see it everywhere. In fact, North Carolina broke its record for grass pollen back in 2025, the highest counts measured since I started tracking it back in 1999. So if you got allergies, you plan for it. Invest in a good air filters in the house and keep your window closed during the peak weeks. And then the locals here will tell you to start your nasal spray even before symptoms kick in. Take it from me as well. And keep this in mind when we get to the home price questions a little bit later, because where you land can mean a very different kind of yard and tree coverage all around you. But let's move on for now. We have a lot to see before we get to that. Now, most folks who live here handle it just fine by year 2 and stop thinking about it completely. But if you're coming from Pacific Northwest or somewhere dry out west, that first spring can catch you by surprise. But the dust on your car is nothing next to what you'll notice the second you look up. If you're weighing a Charlotte move and want a straight read from someone who lives and works here on which areas fit you, your family, and your lifestyle, that's where my team and I help relocation buyers every single week. My contact information is linked right below. All right, now let's get back to it. Look up near the core of the city and you'll spot a crane. Okay, more like you're gonna spot 3, 4, more than that. Because Charlotte right now is a city getting built in real time. The wider metro added close to 11,000 new apartments in the past 5 years, putting Charlotte in the top 5 cities in the country for building. And the center city core has billions in office, hotel, and retail, either going up or about to break ground. But all that building means road work, lane closures, and noise, especially around South End and Midtown. Buy near one of these growing areas and the block you move onto today might look a little bit different in a few years from now. But that's the upside too. The same building is bringing new restaurants, breweries, and walkable blocks, so the South End is one of the most alive parts of the Southwest currently going now. The real question is simple. Do you want a city that's finished and settled, or are you okay with living right next to the growth while it goes on? You've got to be honest with yourself about that before you buy, since all that building puts pressure on something you'll sit on top of every single day: potholes. Charlotte's roads have been playing catch up with the people moving here for a while now. North Carolina's roads earned a C- grade on the most recent report card. Yikes! See me after class. In all seriousness, the state is looking at funding the shortfall of $12 billion over the next several years. So yeah, road fixes around here take longer than folks truly would like them to. For you as a daily driver, that means potholes that keep coming back season after season, bumpy pavement on the busy roads, and the detours that added a few extra minutes onto your current drive. Now, the city isn't ignoring it. Charlotte's Transportation Department handles road and sidewalk repairs year-round, and you can report a pothole through the city's 311 service to get it set up in next in line. They've even tried a summer treatment to help the pavement hold up against the heat, so they're taking this pretty seriously. It's just taking time. Charlotte isn't worse than other fast-growing Sunbelt cities on this, but if you're coming from somewhere where there's smooth, newer roads, you're going to notice the potholes very differently. Keep your car in good shape, give yourself a little extra cushion on time, and it turns into just background noise, which brings us to the number that everybody's mind's been wanting before they ever tour a single home. home. Charlotte used to be the easy answer when somebody wanted a cheaper option than Atlanta, DC, or the Triangle. Good news, it still is, just not as much as it was 5 years ago. Right now, the median sales price still sits around the low to mid $400,000 prices, up a touch over the past year. Hey, it's still a deal next to the coast. Have you seen what people pay for a condo in LA? Still, that crazy pace from a few years back is over. Homes that used to sell in under a week might now sit for 6 to 8 weeks. Inventory is also up, so you've got more options and more room to talk them down than buyers had just a few years ago. And this ties straight into the school districts we'll break down later, because where you buy and what you pay end up connected tighter than you think. I'll get to that in a minute, bear with me. Now, rates are still sitting around the 6% range on a 30-year note, and that shapes what you can afford. So if you're shopping under $500,000 price point, you might find yourself looking a little bit farther out from Center City and South End, where prices are running a little bit higher. The takeaway is a good one for you. Right now, you're walking in with room to negotiate that you simply didn't have back in 2022. And once you start touring, there's one thing that stopped northerner buyers in their tracks almost every time: no basements. Buyers from the Midwest and Northeast walk into homes after home here and keep asking me the same thing: Mark, where's the basement? To put it simply, you won't find that many around here. Most homes here are built on crawl spaces, with the rest mostly on cement slabs. Only a small slice has a full basement, and it comes down to the ground itself. Charlotte sits on that thick Piedmont red clay, and it's pricey and tough to dig into for the basement. And a higher water table across a lot of the region and below ground space just invites moisture problems. On top of all that, the winters are mild, so you don't need a basement to hide from the cold the way you do up north. So your storage has to go somewhere else, usually the garage or an attic. Your heating and air and your water heater often live in the crawl space. And when you get a home inspection, expect the inspector to spend real time down in the crawl space checking the moisture barrier. But come on, it's not a deal breaker, not even close, unless you really like basements. Builders and inspectors here know these foundations inside and out, and a well-kept crawl space home lasts just fine. If that's what you're worried about, don't be. It's more about rewiring how you think, especially figuring out where all your stuff is going to go. Now, part of why you can skip the basement comes down to what the weather does here across the entire year. Charlotte gives you all 4 seasons, and that's one of the real perks. The summer just asks something of you in return. Let me walk you through a year here in Charlotte. Winters are mild, with daytime highs in the mid 40s to the low 50s, and real snow is pretty rare. When ice does show up, it shuts things down completely, more than it would up north, just because the city and the drivers don't deal with it that much. But those days are very few and far in between. Spring and fall are the highlights. Spring brings dogwoods and azaleas all over the neighborhood, while fall gives you that signature color and warm days stretching into November. These are the seasons that make you fall in love with the city of Charlotte. And then there's the summer. This is where Charlotte truly puts you to the test. And it's not even just the heat. Highs sit in the upper 80s and push into the low to mid 90s, but it's the humidity that gets you. It's that kind that makes you sweat like you ran a full marathon while walking just to your car. From late May to mid-September, outdoor life shifts to earlier mornings and later in the evenings. Summer also brings more mosquitoes, and that heat overlaps with the mold. Most longtime folks say year 3 is when summer stops feeling like something to survive, and those mild winters make that whole deal truly worth the enjoyment. Look forward to that, promise you. Now, if you got kids, this next one is probably the biggest thing shaping where you end up buying. So lean in here. In case you didn't know, the Charlotte Metro isn't one single school system. Your kids can end up at a school on the other side of town if you don't take the time to do the research. Depending on which side of the county line your house sits on, you land in a different district with different assignments for your kids. Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools, CMS, is the big one, covering all of Mecklenburg County, which includes Charlotte, Huntersville, Cornelius, and Davidson. It's one of the largest districts in the Southeast. Then you've got separate suburban districts nearby, like Union County to the south, which pulls a lot of families out of South Charlotte suburbs. So let me give you the one tip that will save you a real headache. Never, never assume a home feeds into a certain school just because it sits close to one. Always run the exact home address through the district's assignment tool and check the current test data yourself before you make an offer. Now, tie this back to the prices we covered. The stronger suburban districts often come with a higher home price in that area, and that's one of the biggest things you'll weigh against everything else. Next, let's cover something you'll probably deal with every day if you decide to make the move. You can love the city and still spend more of your life behind the wheel than you ever thought. Charlotte is a car city, full stop, and that's just the reality you plan your life around before you just show up. We do have a light rail, the Lynx Blue Line. It runs about 18 miles from UNC Charlotte through Uptown and down towards 45. It's great if you happen to live near a station and work near another one. Yeah, absolutely. But most people aren't that lucky. So just assume you're driving everywhere. And once you're in the urban core, you're paying the parking. The city's paid parking covers Uptown, South End, Elizabeth, Noda, and along Commonwealth Avenues in Plaza Midwood. And those zones have grown as the neighborhoods have gotten denser. So if you spend time in Uptown, budget for parking. Some folks park at a light rail station with a free garage and ride in from there, which saves you that headache of paying for the parking. But keep in mind that Charlotte is spread out. Your groceries, your doctors, the kids' school, the gym, getting to all this means driving. Coming from a place where you didn't need a car, you're going to feel it at the start. The city keeps putting money into transit and greenways, and the areas near the Blue Line keep getting more walkable, but we're not there yet. Okay, that's the honest list of what's got you to handle, but let's flip it because there are solid reasons why close to hundreds of families I've worked with choose to stay here in Charlotte. Charlotte sits in the Piedmont, right in the middle, so you can have the mountains on Saturday and the ocean the next weekend without having a plane ticket. The edge of the Blue Ridge is under 2 hours away, and a full weekend in Asheville or Black Mountain runs about a 2-hour road trip. Where the higher you go, the cooler it gets. Head the other way and you're down into the beach. It's just 3 hours away. Myrtle, Wrightsville, Wilmington, 3 to 3.5 hours. So instead of vacations being the only escape, you get easy mountain weekends in October for the leaves and a beach trip in early June before it gets too crowded. Then there's the sports. For a mid-sized city, Charlotte punches way above its weight. You've got the Carolina Panthers for football, and you got the Charlotte Hornets for basketball, both right in Uptown, while Charlotte FC brings Major League Soccer from February to November. The Charlotte Knights gives you AAA baseball. The Checkers bring pro hockey, and of course, NASCAR runs at the Charlotte Motor Speedway just up in Concord, home of the Coca-Cola 600 every Memorial Day weekend. There's rarely a dead week if you like to live crowded. Just remember that Uptown parking on game days will definitely be a lot worse. Now, the part that surprises most people who move in is the Southern hospitality. The checkout line turns into a conversation. A stranger nods at you on the greenway. Somebody brings something over the week you move in. It's really easy to feel included around here. And it stays warm even as the city grows because so many people here came from somewhere else. Most of your neighbors remember exactly what it felt like to be the new one on the block. One more thing that makes it feel like home even faster, this is a dog city and it's built for it. There's a whole set of off-leash parks around town like Shuffletown Park with the doggy pools in summer, Fraser Park near Uptown, Reedy Creek out near University City, and Renaissance Park with its trails and open fields. The whole greenway system welcomes dogs on a leash also, and in a city this spread out, the dog park turns into one of the easiest ways to meet people. Don't forget also, you have the dog park at the Whitewater Center, which is unbelievable opportunity. So your dog might just turn into your best networking buddy. The people who fall in love with Charlotte are the ones who walk in knowing the trade-offs and decide the yellow cars and the summer sweat were a fair price for everything else. Get honest about which of these you can truly live with, and your answer gets clearer fast. If you want a straight read on where you'd fit here before you commit to anything, reach out to me. Tell me your timeline and what matters most to you. I'll put together a breakdown built around your situation, not some generic list. My contact information is right here. If you're still deciding where in the metro to plant yourself, check out the video I've linked here where I rank 6 Charlotte neighborhoods most relocation videos steer you away from, because the highest ranked one isn't the right fit for everybody. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.